What's up, guys, and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. In today's video, we are gonna talk about some of the genetic freaks in bodybuilding history that went throughout their entire career without reaching their full potential. Guys who could have been potential Olympia title contenders only if they brought their best. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. At number 5, we have Justin Compton. Why Justin is in my list? Simply because he was a work in progress and retired too early. Justin displayed spectacular looks in a short career that he had. Most notable was when he battled with Dexter Jackson and Brent Warren at the Arnold Classic 2015 and Golden State Championship 2016. Honey Rambaud worked with Justin Compton for a short period of time, and he said that after Phil Heath, Justin is the only bodybuilder who had made progress as fast as Phil did out of the all guys he trained in his entire career. Justin was an unbelievable sight to be seen in the off-season for the sheer amount of mass that he carried. I think he had all the tools to be Mr. Olympia, and that's why he makes number 5 in this list. He retired by the end of 2016 before turning 30. At number 4, we have the legend Chris Cormier. We are all aware of the fact that how Chris Cormier partied even during his preps. He had an amazing structure. He wasn't missing any body parts, and he himself admitted that he never committed himself 100% to bodybuilding. And yet he placed third at one of the most competitive Mr. Olympia of all times in 1999, where he beat guys like Sean Ray and Kevin Levron. I would have to say Chris is the unluckiest bodybuilder as well. If we look at his contest history, can you guys believe that he placed runner-up at the Arnold Classic 6 times in his career? The great Dorian Yates watched Chris evolve as they both competed in the same era, and he publicly stated that Chris would have been Mr. Olympia only if he had a mindset like him. Chris retired in 2007, and he is considered one of the best trainers right now. At number 3, we have Lionel Bayeki. Although he isn't retired yet, and he is planning to compete this year, we do realize that he is 41 years old now. So chances of him bringing something special that we haven't seen from him before are almost zero. I think you guys will agree with me on this one. Throughout Lionel's career, he showed up on stage far from what the physique was capable of. 2014 Arnold Classic Brazil, when Dennis James prepped him, that was one of the best packages of his career because Dennis had him stay at his home, kept an eye on him so that he couldn't cheat on his diet. And Lionel was the clear winner of that show. That was probably one of the most rigged contests I have ever seen, because they crowned Steve Koklo as the champion, with Lionel placing 4th. At the Olympia Europe 2016, Lionel showed up really good, but he could have always been better. He is reminiscent of the great Flex Wheeler and Kai Green because of the great muscle bellies that he was blessed with. This guy could have won many shows only if he showed up with that crazy conditioning, which hardly ever happened. At number 2, we have the aesthetic mass monster, Paul the Lad from the 90s era. This guy was a genetic marvel to look at due to his insane proportions, but his inability to hold poses was a big factor of him not placing high at numerous contests. His lack of proper back development was also a limiting factor in his performances at big shows. There were instances when Paul stood next to guys like Flax Wheeler and held his own in terms of pure aesthetics. At what competition Paul was at his best? I think the 1994 Olympia, when Paul placed his career's best, fourth place was his best year. Prior to that, Paul was phenomenal at the 1994 Arnold Classic, the same contest he collapsed in backstage. Without a doubt, he was one of the craziest physiques to ever step on stage, past or present. He retired in 2006 and he is currently 57 years old. At number 1 spot, we have the late Cedric McMillan. When people saw him at New York Pro 2012, people named him the future Mr. Olympia. 8 times Mr. Olympia, Lee Haney once said that Mother Nature blessed Cedric with everything to be a champion of this sport. It's unfortunate that he cannot dial 100%. His biggest achievement was winning the Arnold Classic 2017 by beating the late Dallas McCarver. It is surprising that a shape that was literally unmatched, Cedric never cracked top 6 at the Olympia because he never brought an elite level of conditioning on stage. We never saw what Cedric at 100% would look like. I have no doubts that he could have been multiple times Mr. Olympia. I do hope you guys like this video. Let me know what are some other names who had the potential to be great but couldn't do so simply because they didn't nail the conditioning. Hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.